Egal, what would
I,
you like to say, bro?
I got into an argument with D over this earlier today, and I just wanted to ask you guys what you guys think. I don't think Arsenal is going to spend money in January, and I don't think we necessarily need to go and massively strengthen our team in January. I think what we've got, especially with the players coming back from injury and the squad size that we currently have, maybe we sell Jesus, but that's outside of that. I don't see too much happening.
Mm.
You guys agree with that, or do you think going out and spending whatever it takes to go get a Semenyo to improve this team makes sense at this moment in time? Because I
I mean,
don't.
for me, it's when we get to January, let's see what the team is. If there's a possibility to strengthen there, and it looks like we need a little, insurance, whatever, I'm all for it. But for me, I think we spent so much money in the summer. I think that we're gonna probably move a few bodies to get what we need. I think for the first time in a while, you look at the squad and you go, we've got quite a few choices for positions to put players in. It's just a matter of maintaining health. That's the main thing. I think Kenny alluded to this earlier. It's about the fatigue factor. Is can the guys stay healthy? Who can go to how can we how can the manager rotate these players, because that's one of the things that I'm looking at right now. It's just players rotating coming in. So when we get to January, I mean, if it's a situation where like when we ended up getting Eze, player go Havertz went down, break glass, we need to go strengthen the team, then I'm all for it. But for right now, just the way things look, I just don't think that we're going to spend any major money on bringing anybody in. I think that if anything, we're going to probably move one or two players that need to be moved on.
What's your thoughts, Kenny?
I think I can see the situation, because if you think about it, is that like basically we got a tyranny of fixtures up until you think about it from the Spurs game. It's going to be a lot of intensity. I can understand where D's coming from in terms of like there could be injuries, the amount of games where you probably need that bit more quality of players, loose form and everything. I do understand it. And if a player's available, maybe D's looked at the situation and thought, oh no, Rodrigo's still on the bench at Real Madrid, he'd be available in January. Maybe that's where D's going. But I always say the squad's good enough, the numbers are there for us to cope. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't advocate buying anyone in January on that basis, because at the end of the day, we're not going to lose players to the African Cup of Nations, are we? So
No,
that in that respect, we're not going to lose players.
great point. A lot of teams are as well, by the way. A lot of teams are going to.
Liverpool with Salah, of course. They're going to lose Salah, but in terms of Arsenal, we do realistically, with the exception of probably a position, we've got two players for every position. Even at goal, obviously, I get where you guys are coming from when it comes to Kepa. I get it. Raya's just so good. Kepa has had that build up, and he hasn't been able to make the number one shot his own, but he has played big games. That's a good number two. We know what we got at right back and left back. We know what we got at defence. Obviously, we don't want to lose any of those defenders. We don't want to lose any of our midfielders, but we realistically have got two players for every position. And these players are quality players who have played this season. So they are going to. There's not a massive gap in quality between our first team and our understudies.
Yeah, the drop off's nowhere near what it has been before. Like when before we were bringing on Fabi Vieira or Nelson or Lakonga, Eddie and Nketiah. We ain't doing that now, man. We ain't doing that now. We're bringing on players that we're like, whoa, this is a decent. Like even when the commentators are saying it, I know we shouldn't always listen to media because they talk waffle, but actually the commentators themselves are like, wow, Ezra's coming on. Wow, Madueke's coming on. Wow, soon it'll be Havertz is coming off the bed. I think we've got to look at that seriously and just say that we haven't got any excuses. And I will say to your question, Egal, this is the 1st January. I think I'm going to be saying, I'm not going to be crying out for signings in January. This is the 1st January ever I can remember where I'm not going to be screaming. Now, listen, if Semenyo becomes available, I say take it. Some people don't like him. I personally do. I think he'd be a good signing for Arsenal on the left wing. I'm not really screaming out for any other players. All I'll say is the only position we can't, or the only player we can't afford to lose is Declan Rice, because nobody does what he does in the team. There's other players that do what the other players do. Maybe not to that level, but certainly they do replace. I've got to be honest, nobody does what Declan Rice does, man. It's ridiculous how good he is, man. But, let me just do these supers and then we'll come to a last question before we close. And I have got to get out of here because I've got commitments in literally in 8 minutes. Netweed says, same old top Gunners celebrating before Christmas again. I do love Netweed. You know, he says it how it is. He's very, very consistent, is Netweed. General Jez, the fans, Mr. Arsenal, big up to you, bro. Big up to Netweed. We've got Rumble says, evening chaps. I'm happy where we are now, but I'll always remember the crap we've had to put up with Arteta. He's extremely lucky to still be in the job. Look, that might be fair, but right now, Rumble, I'll say this. I think he deserves all the praise that he gets personally. Thank you so much for becoming a member as well, bruv. Really appreciate that. And Netweed's back saying that Arteta always crumbles. His fanboys always blame Josh. Well, look, right now, I don't want to think about us crumbling. I want to think about us continuing because what is happening right now is looking very, very good. Let me come round very, very quickly as we close. What's the situation going to be like at the weekend? I'll start with you, Egal. We've got Sunderland, Liverpool, Manchester City. I asked Jez this. He believes it's going to be a tough game. I agree. I think it's going to be a tough game. Sunderland have been excellent, by the way. That deserves a mention. They've been very, very good. We've got to win there, got to do the job there, and you've got Liverpool and City as the kind of Super Sunday, which hopefully we beat Sunderland and we can sit and relax and enjoy it. But how do you see this one coming, bro?
I think this Sunderland game is just going to be just as hard as the Chelsea and Tottenham games coming up. We're gonna have to go there. We're gonna have to be able to weather whatever storm they give us, and defend and offensively, I feel like they're going to be a little bit better than people think. The last couple of weeks, we've been able to not face too many shots on target. I wouldn't be surprised if we did face a shot on target in this game, but I'll be upset if we did. And I do think we're going to win. I like Sunderland, what they've been doing with Granit Xhaka, but we just should be able to beat them regardless of that. And the rest of the guys, personally, I don't care what happens in the game, but a draw would be the most favorable thing to both of us, because if we look at Liverpool and City this season, they both have the capability to turn it on at any point. But if they both get a draw, that's 2 points drop for both teams. If either lose, that's 3 points. But I'd rather have both of them take a 2-point loss and fall behind, and Arsenal have an 8-point lead come the end of the weekend. So yeah, I'm looking forward to us potentially having an 8-point lead, but we first have to win our game first. And yeah.
Okay, interesting. Matty, how do you see this weekend panning out?
Man City over Liverpool 3-1. And I think that I will win as well. I think we'll probably win 2-1, 2-0. Me personally, I'm looking forward to Calafiore and Xhaka going at it. That's what I want to see. I want to see that theater. But no, I think Sunderland will be a tough fixture. It's just amazing to watch that they've come all the way up and then compete. We're talking like actually seriously competing here. And I think that'll be a fun match to watch. They're not going to be an easy team to put away, but I think that we'll get a set piece in there somewhere, and then we'll probably get a goal from somebody, and we'll shut up shop and we'll be moving on. So I think we'll be fine this weekend.
Okay,
it's the end of the month that I'm kind of just looking at right now, just waiting to see how we manage the.
Of course, man. I gotta get to this international break, and then we can look at the end of the month. But yeah, for me, this Sunderland game is massive. What's your score predictions for these two games, Jez? What are you saying?
I think Liverpool will win. City will win. I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool, 2-0 City. I think we're missing a point here at Sunderland. They haven't lost at home yet. They're
didn't know that.
Sorry?
I said, didn't know that. Didn't realize that.
They're a tough team at home, man. Tough team. So I'm going to go on that one. I'd like to go ultra positive. I really would. But I'm sorry. I'm going to go. I think it's going to be a 0-0.
You think Sunderland Arsenal will be 0-0 or Liverpool City? You think Sunderland Arsenal 0-0?
Win 2-0, Liverpool 1-0. Look.
But they're playing each other this weekend.
No, they're playing each other, Jez. Liverpool City.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
It's
I was a week ahead. I'm sorry, beg your pardon.
No, you're all
right. I think City will win that 2-1. Right? But the Sunderland game, bear in mind they haven't lost at home, I think it's going to be a tough ask. We haven't got Gyökeres. Mourinho can step in there. And he's playing good. He's playing good. Let's get it right. But they've got a pretty damn decent midfield and defence. We've got an excellent defence. I can't see Sunderland getting through our defence, to be honest. So I'm sad to say, I'm sorry, 0-0.
Okay. Kenny, what are you saying, bro?
Well, the Liverpool game against Man City at the Etihad, it's a different. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, it's a Man City win. But now Slot is playing that midfield where they're not letting teams run through them. They're being aggressive defensively. That when Liverpool played the way they played against Real Madrid at the Etihad last season, they beat them comfortably. Obviously, Rodri wasn't playing, but Rodri's probably going to come back for that game. But if Liverpool play like they do and win that midfield battle, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off a shock. And it'd be a shock because of their form, because Haaland keeps on scoring goals. But that Man City midfield does not convince me still. It doesn't convince me, even with Rodri. There's a lack of athleticism in that midfield. And if Liverpool play Szoboszlai, McAllister and Gravenberch, and they outrun them and control the tempo of the game, they can nick something there. They can actually go there and win. In terms of us, as biased as this sounds, I didn't see anything in the first half at the Stadium of Light to cause me any sort of fear. In fact, Sunderland was sloppy. If they play like that, if they're sloppy like they were in that first half against us, then I'll say to the rest of the public, the British public, we score from a set piece early on. My advice to non-Arsenal fans: switch over to watch Strictly. Seriously,
I love that.
There's some beautiful girls. You know, some of the professional female dancers. Go and watch them because you find that more entertaining. Because we'll close the game out. So I expect. And in terms of the second half, when obviously Sunderland, they got the equaliser, but when I look at their strikers, I remember look at the Crystal Palace game and I thought, right, Crystal Palace have got this ability to get in behind, the opposition defence. They're very potent. If any team can make Sunderland look ordinary, it'd be us. And I expect us to make Sunderland's strikers to look ordinary and a bit out of their depth. So I'm going for a 2-0 win.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I love this, Dan. We got everyone being super positive. You don't necessarily need me to do that today only.
No, we don't. We've turned, mate. We're with you, bro. We're with you right now, and that's what we want to be. Let's be real. But look, man, I'm gonna go 2-1 City, and I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal. I think we might concede against Sunderland. I think they're a good side. I think they're good away from home, but I still think we'll win. And I think City will have too much for Liverpool. I just think Haaland's an absolute machine at the moment. So that's why I'll go there. And we'll be top of the league and be clear of Liverpool by quite some distance. So that's what I'm going to go with. Hopefully it's a draw, though. We're clear of both, but we'll see.